5 Memphis police officers fired in the death of Tyre Nichols. Memphis Police Department announcing that they have fired 5 officers involved in the arrest of Tyre Nichols, 29-year-old black man who died 3 days after the altercation. All of these officers gone. Those officers, Justin Smith, Emmitt Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr, Demetrius Haley, and Tadarrius Bean. Memphis police saying the officers violated multiple department policies, including excessive use of force, duty to intervene, and duty to render aid. The firings came after an employment investigation hearing, which was the end of the Memphis Police Department's internal investigation into the officers' actions. Any criminal charges, which may or may not come as a result of what the Memphis Police Department described as confrontations between those officers and Nichols, would be announced at a later time. Memphis Police Department stated Nichols was originally pulled over January 7th for reckless driving. Officers said Nichols ran, leading to 2 confrontations between those officers, and Nichols eventually, his arrest, in which those officers showed use of force. After those confrontations, Nichols complained of shortness of breath, was taken to a Memphis hospital. He died at that hospital 3 days later. That was January 10th. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is currently investigating the use of force by those officers. Today, family of Nichols is readying themselves for a day of emotion, as they're expected to view police body cam footage of the confrontations with Memphis police that led to Nichols' death. The video will be publicly released afterward. That video shows the final few moments of what led up to this 29-year-old young man's death in police custody. District 2 Councilman Frank Colvett Jr. in a phone interview with Fox 13 in Memphis said, "I've been told it's disgusting, it's damaging, it's not good even slightly." What happened after Nichols was pulled over by the police is still shrouded in uncertainty. Police immediately saying only there were 2 confrontations between Nichols and police after he was pulled over. Body cam footage has been held tightly. Few having seen it, some like Colvett Jr. getting an account of what it shows. Colvett Jr. said the city government as well as law enforcement are prepared for any eventuality because of the video's public release. A couple things strike me here, Mayor. Internal review, use of force, confrontations, these are flowery words. We saw the picture of Mr. Nichols in the hospital who died 3 days after this confrontation or 2. I wonder what your initial gut is telling you here.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few things that's different in this case than in most cases of police brutality against black folk. And then there are a couple things that are the same. The first thing is the hush, the quietness at which the city and the police department shows up in these situations. That those things are similar. We're used to seeing the silence. What's missing is the defense of the police officers from the police department and also the police union. Who always screams that we need to be safe, we need to take our time before we be rushed to judge. And then we also have to admit that all of these officers are black. But what people forget though is, this is why we say it's a problem to talk about individuals as bad apples. There's no individual bad apple problem with the police and the black people in this country. It is an institutional problem. And while these flattering words are being used, and the police chief said in his statement that it's the job of the Memphis police to protect and serve all people, that can't be the case when you have this many officers behaving in this manner. This is a culture that needs to be exposed. And I'm super excited about the fact that the federal government is investigating how a traffic stop can lead to a brutal beating, lynching of a black man who everybody in the community said was an avid skater and had a heart of a Care Bear. So this idea that there were multiple incidents or or I think they said confrontations, and it doesn't look bad, implies that this white councilman know that there's nothing they can say this man did that can defend them, and the fact that they were fired so quick, nobody was put on administrative leave, let you know how disgusting this is. And the video is probably gonna spark outrage, which is why he's talking about any eventualities. The tragic situation though is, this is the history of modern policing. People will believe that we've always had police in this country. We have not. There were no police before 1790 something, and those police were actually slave patrols. Slave patrols began in the Carolinas, where I'm from, and then they eventually became the first police departments right after the ending of the Civil War, because North Carolina rewrote its constitution saying that slavery was outlawed, of course, because it had already been passed, but also that there was no need for slave patrols, and also they mandated the creation of prisons. So we needed police.
You know, Mayor, I could just let you talk for an hour, because education, illumination is important in these cases. I want you to go on and on and on, because there's so many people who don't know their history and who choose to stay ignorant of their history. Something else that strikes me is 5 police officers who, by the way, yes, I see their black faces too, and I'll acknowledge that, Mayor, but they're blue. You're right. They're blue. There's no such thing in policing, black, this, that. Although black officers have complained for decades about the fraternal order of police and not backing them. That said, what strikes me, in addition to everything you raised, Mayor, is the fact that they are fired first. And that's dangled out there for us, right? We're just supposed to just eat it up. It's so delicious, this barbecue, this firing, and not arrested. And not arrested. They have the body cam footage, which they're right. Brace yourself is what the councilman meant. Brace yourself, Memphis, and perhaps other parts of the country. Brace yourself. Fired, not arrested, Mayor.
Right, and the tragic is, if you know it's disgusting and it abused policies, which means you probably broke laws of someone's, you impeded on someone's constitutional rights, and this one, the right to life. And I think that is absolutely exactly what they saw first. At first, they want to get ahead of the story as a PR stunt and say we fired all of these people. None of them have been charged. And what they're waiting for probably is for some of this to die down so the charges cannot happen or be lessened. We're so used to this. The national media will move on quickly into the next incident. We know we got a couple days probably if we're looking at history before it happens again. And the sad part about this is true justice probably won't happen in this country for Tyre and his family, because, like you said, they are blue. They're blue before they're black in this case.
Tyre and his family, yet another family, slow singing, flower bringing, and having to sit and watch. I cannot imagine, as a mother, sitting and watching my child's final, violent, disgusting moment. And yet this family's gonna have to do it in order to try, in his name, in his wonderful name. You're right, that's what we're hearing about this young man. And by the way, if he wasn't, I don't know that would make a difference here. What difference does it make for you to be a judge, a jury, and an executioner? But I would like, if you could, Mayor, to address something else. We haven't seen the body cam footage, so we don't know yet what it's going to show. It's described by these ex-officers that he ran from them. Why might a black man run from the police, Mayor?
Well, because of this very incident. This is what the outcome can be. Running, standing still, him being black is a weapon, even to black officers. And they know that they can exploit, historically, they can exploit the idea that he's black. Oh, he ran, so that means we had to beat him, give chase, which is ridiculous, because if he's running from you, he's not a threat to you. If he's not a threat to you, how is he laying in a hospital bed, unrecognizable, looking like the 2023 version of Emmitt Till?
Okay, boy, you said something there. You said something there. And another mother who said, you know what? You leave that casket open, because I had to see it. The world needs to see it, and we're all accountable. We all need to see it.